Imagine a parallel universe where, instead of catwalk models striding around a lilac lunar surface, the Jaguar rebrand advert gave us a wistful vision of the past and perhaps not so distant past. It might point to the beauty of an E-Type or XK, the magic carpet ride of an XJ, and innovations from disc brakes at Le Mans to all aluminium construction and the brilliant I-Pace. More than anything, the advert would point out, Jaguar has dared to be different over its 9 decades. And then everything would pause for a dramatic effect before a plummy English voice announced,
"And now we're doing it again."
I don't know about you, but I think that would have made this car a lot more palatable to a lot more people. And it is, of course, the new Jaguar 4-door GT, aka the most controversial Jaguar in history, and the model that marks a reset for the British brand after a pause in production and the start of its all-new electric era. And you know what? After speaking to the engineers up here, it's obvious that they really want to channel that Jaguar DNA as they move forward into this bold new era. So what exactly have we got here then? Well, this is one of 150 prototype cars that Jaguar has built for this program, but this is one of a handful of examples that are really representative. So 100% representative for hardware and about 80% for software. It's still camouflaged to disguise the final design, but we do know it's based on the Jaguar electric architecture, so all aluminium, all electric. And while it looks like the 2-door Type 00 concept, with its long bonnet, low roof line, its long wheelbase and the 23-inch alloys, this one is, in fact, a 4-door. So we've got one electric motor on the front axle, 2 on the rear. That's about 1,000 brake horsepower in total, 1,300 newton meters of torque. And the battery, you can tell it's really big, partly because of this wheelbase, but also because Jaguar is targeting 478 miles on the WLTP test cycle. Also gets rear wheel steering, full air suspension and 50-50 weight distribution. Though exactly how much it weighs, we don't know. Expect something well over 2.5 tons. Crucially, we're told it'll drive like a Jaguar, with the engineering team revisiting iconic Jaguars and reinterpreting the dynamics for the modern era.
About a year from now, in early 2027, we should be seeing the first example of this car on the road, priced at around £120,000. But before that, Jaguar is up here to fine-tune crucial aspects of the driving experience, and car is being allowed behind the wheel for the first time.
So we are out in the Jaguar 4-door GT prototype. So you can probably see it's very rough hewn in here. It's a hard-working prototype, and you know it's actually a real privilege to be able to drive a car like this that gives us a real window on what they're doing with development. I'm sitting down in a very comfortable seat. The roof line feels very low. The windscreen is very heavily raked, so it's a dramatic kind of seating position. I feel like the seat could go a little bit lower. The roof line is low as well, although I feel with this pano roof that I've got above me, I do feel like I've got enough headroom. We've got a few different modes going on here in terms of what we can choose from. So dynamic, comfort, we've got a winter kind of snow and rain mode that's a little bit more relaxed. And that influences all things like the driveline dynamics, which sends torque front to rear, so 1,000 brake horsepower almost, 1,300 newton meters of torque, which is probably getting on for 1,000 pound-foot. And we're on this ice lake here, so just picking my way around. So yeah, we're sending it, and those modes send stuff front to rear and also side to side, depending on what we've got. So we're in dynamic now, and that is, as you would expect, a bit more throttle calibration, so a bit more punchier on the throttle, and much more kind of rear bias. So if I just do that, you can see it slides really nicely. Eerily silent in here, and really nice kind of steering feel straight away. You can see it straight into the kind of oversteer on the lake. We're on winter tires, nice kind of firm steering feel. And we'll have to go and crank it up in a minute and just see, when we really wind this 1,000 brake horsepower Jag up, what does it feel like? The braking feels very natural to me, just as an amble at the moment, just cruising around. Just feel like quite a natural car. And if we put our foot down, we get a load of wheel spin on these winter tires. And if I brake hard here, ABS doing a really good job there of kind of balancing everything. The other thing to talk about in here is this long spine like we've seen in the concept car. We've got the screen. It looks like in this car we've just got a screen going halfway across, full digital screen to the halfway point, and apparently there's a sound bar going over the just under the windscreen. Get a glimpse of a few of the materials in here, but yeah, this is very much a dynamics car. We are in dynamic mode, so let's see what happens with this new generation Jag. We are properly cracking on there. It's very lively but very nicely balanced. Full big drift into this corner, very nice steering weight, very easy balanced transition as we straighten and then a little bit more gas. I'm very aware how much power I've got under my foot. So these brakes, the ABS and the regen I've got at the moment, I think is really, really sweet. It's very finely, you know, as I'm driving now, I've got to be very kind of light on the pedal to get the car to move, and occasionally put some big inputs in on the brake to stop it, like now, but it's not overly intruding. Very much this rear bias, and in the car with the chassis engineer James before, and he was showing me the difference with the torque vectoring off. So at the moment, very, very easy to keep it in this drift, sort of a four-wheel drift going into bigger oversteer now at the corner exit. If we turn that torque vectoring off, suddenly I am doing an awful lot more work. So this is still with the torque vectoring on, but it's a very natural effect. I think they've done a good job. The steering weight is relatively not heavy, but it's relatively high, which gives a good sense of connection to this car, even on a very slippery surface like this. And suddenly, in a frozen lake, a bit of a Scandi flick there. And this thing, I don't know, obviously there's only so much we can learn on snow and ice, but it feels like the systems are very, very nicely calibrated, even at this 80% level.
If you're enjoying our videos and want more of car, it's well worth subscribing to our magazine. Every month we deliver the most in-depth features on the latest and greatest cars and essentially cut through the noise to give you the inside line. By subscribing, you'll save money on shop prices, never miss an issue, and enjoy delivery right to your door, which is free if you're in the UK. Simply visit greatmagazines.co.uk/car to check out our latest offers.
One thing that I am always a little bit wary of with electric cars, you can probably hear if I floor it now, is that massive hit of power. And I am probably on like 30-40% of power, and I'm aware that I don't really want to do much more than that. And I think what's going to be interesting on the road is how usable does that feel, and how much do you just get that kind of giddy electric hit that turns it into more of a fairground ride. So I'm very interested on that calibration, how that acceleration feels and how usable that power feels on the road without just being a bit ridiculous. This experience, it isn't on tarmac, but it does give us a very good indication that the dynamics of this car are taking shape very nicely indeed. I think when I was in comfort mode before, there was less oversteer, but I think the throttle calibration for these conditions was actually nicer. It's maybe a little bit too edgy for me in dynamics. I would probably mix and match those two.
While there's only so much we can learn from driving on ice and snow, there's certainly a lot to be impressed with here. But getting the dynamics of this car right is one thing. The bigger question is who is going to buy it, and if Jaguar's gamble to chase the super luxury all-electric market will pay off. Around about this time next year, we'll start to find out.